What up, world? Welcome to this special edition of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast, Patreon exclusive episode. This episode is going to be chronologizing the Reese Senior Bowl, some of the standout players and events and things that I thought were of note to definitely check into the game and prepare you for the combine, which is literally less than a month away, and the NFL draft, which will be up in April. But as always, this is the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful, chilly, and now windy confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. As always, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, obviously on Patreon, Podbean, and as well as on Trovo. Like I said, this episode is chronologizing mostly the Senior Bowl recap, players that I thought really stood out, made a difference. I definitely like some things on some of the defensive and offensive line players that I saw this year. A couple guys that I thought watching them quarterback-wise stood out to me, reminded me of some current players right now in the NFL. So I definitely want to hop into all of that. But before we do that, I would be doing a disservice to the show and a disservice to you if I did not talk about the #1 leading ticket getter in the world, and that is StubHub. StubHub, best place in the world for tickets to live shows, events, and concerts. If you're looking for tickets to the Super Bowl still, looking for tickets to the Bad Bunny Residency, the Eagles in Las Vegas, wherever you're looking for right now, whether it's a concert, live game, show, event, golf tournaments coming up right now, check StubHub. I have the links, the creative ID links in the description of this video. You can definitely check and get whatever ticket that you're looking for. I would suggest that you hop on it now, especially those Super Bowl tickets. They're flying fast. And definitely from Euro subscribers, with Viagogo. Obviously, the comedy tour is still going on. There's some other acts and things that's popped up right now in the UK that I think you guys would be excited about. As always, again, check in the description of this video if you're looking for links to tickets, to live shows and events. Again, StubHub, the #1 ticket holder in the world for live shows, events, concerts, tickets. You name it, they got it. StubHub. All right, guys. This episode is more or less chronologizing the standout players that I saw from the Senior Bowl and the guys I thought that were standout, guys I wanted more or less, take a moment and shout out and give some props to. And guys that I think that might make, I'm going to have to keep an eye on, make note of going into the combine, because I definitely saw there's really some good defensive and offensive linemen coming out. A couple, not really a plethora of skill position guys. You got a couple of tight ends, got a tight end out of Alabama coming out. You got a couple wide receivers. Obviously, the one I'm going to highlight, Jack Beck. Guy like that. I mean, this kid is fucking phenomenal. Excuse me, I said phenomenal. Look, I'm misspeaking. That's how much he had me flabbergasted. This kid can really fucking ball. I like this. Adjustments to catching the ball. How it was difficult for him in situations, and he could make the play. He has good vertical, good wingspan. I like that. Very strong, very durable, can get separation. I liked him. I liked him a lot. And he was the MVP of the game too. So that definitely was a standout thing. And for TCU, they don't really build wide receivers like that. I mean, the last receiver they had as a highly touted pick was Quentin Johnston. And before that, Jalen Reagor. So, not really good. Not really good. But this kid definitely looks the part. And, he's tough and physical. So we'll definitely see. But I liked a lot of what I saw out of Jack Beck. Going offensively, we're talking quarterbacks. Mixed bag, but some interesting things here. Jackson Dart, he flashed the mobility that we all saw in college. He was accurate. He could definitely throw while he's on the move. That was definitely great. A couple of the cons, though, of his game that I saw did not look great throwing a lot of those deep balls consistently. Definitely needs to work on that, and he's got to work on his pocket presence. I mean, guys are able to kind of get around the edge, swipe the ball down, and you kind of learn that, from switching from college to the NFL. You kind of learn that you got to, have that clock in your head that guys coming around swiping, have that sensory, the knowledge of senses to make sure that when the guy's coming off the edge to try to hit you or swipe the ball out of your hands. He just didn't look good doing that, so it's definitely something to watch. Another one was Jalen Milroe from Alabama. I definitely liked what I saw out of him as far as the athleticism, mobility. He was very good with the quick passing game. Anything within 5-10 yards, he had that down pat. However, he took like 3 unnecessary sacks in this game. And you can't really blame it all on the offensive line, strictly because the offensive line, these guys all just got together, over the course of a week. and were trying to learn a game plan and, you know, win a game, but more or less showcase what they could do. So I'm not going to put the full blame on the offensive line, but he definitely needs to work on his pocket presence. He did not look clean in that game. Didn't give you a, you know, breath of confidence that you would have looking at him coming out of the program he's coming out of. A name that I think would definitely be of note to mention, Seth Hennigan, quarterback out of Memphis. This guy was very good throwing the deep ball, accurate, quick release. He had a fumble, you know, where, you know, the defensive end was able to get in on his hands and wrists and kind of get that out of there. But he did pretty well. I mean, he really reminded me of Jared Goff. You know, he had a nice drive, you know, towards the end of the game. But looking at his game, his throwing motion, everything, he really looks like a poor man's Jared Goff. So definitely be interested to see where Hennigan goes. But I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on him. And then, of course, you know, Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. He played well within the pocket. He always keeps his feet moving. However, him being undersized and having to throw across his body or try to make those contentious, you know, throws that he's been able to get away at college, I can see that he's going to possibly have a major issue with that going into the NFL. So that's something that's going to be, you know, something to watch and keep an eye on. But I liked how he played within the pocket, and he definitely kept his feet moving, so that was always a plus. And rounding out the quarterbacks, we got Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. Riley Leonard, like I said, I liked what I saw from him all throughout the season. I mean, I liked his heart and grit of what he showed in the AFC Championship game, National Championship game against the Ohio State Buckeyes. But nonetheless, he was accurate, mobile. He could make that off, you know, show that off back foot throw, which is not recommended in the NFL by any major coach or any coach that's worth his, you know, fucking job or check or a grain of salt. You know, he definitely would advise you not to make that throw, but Riley Leonard can get away with it. He's definitely been able to throw it. However, one of the cons to his game is definitely, I would say, is that back foot throw. He's going to have to get that out of his game to really progress in the NFL. If you try to rely on that in the pros, you're going to throw a ton of interceptions. So that's definitely not going to work. And he definitely could overthrow a lot of touch passes. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, deep balls that are supposed to, you know, you're not supposed to go hard and fast down the field, but, you know, necessarily put it up in the air, get some touch on it. He overthrew a lot of receivers on a couple passes like that. And going deep downfield consistently was, you know, a little bit of an issue. I think depending on the receiver and time and chemistry, that might have been the issue, but definitely something to watch for Riley Leonard going forward, especially going into the combine and the draft and where he may end up. Now, the part that I loved, that I definitely wanted to get into, was the offensive line and defensive line starters. Now, going into this, I knew this draft had a lot of guys to kind of keep an eye on. I wrote a lot of names down, so bear with me, guys. I was definitely loving what I saw. First one is offensive lineman Wyatt Millman. Wyatt Millman from West Virginia. Loved how he played. He was strong at the point of attack. He could stand the D lineman up with his pure strength. I like that a lot. The only thing that I did not like is when he went up against Jamari Caldwell from Oregon, and he went up against Josiah Stewart. There was a couple of times where he just got, you know, if you can see a guy that's great with their hand movement and they're good with their chop, he's definitely going to have problems with that. So something to keep an eye on, something he could definitely be coached up on, but, you know, not great that if you can get him with a chop and, you know, just blow him up on the interior. So not good. Jamari Caldwell, I just mentioned him, defensive lineman from Oregon. Quick burst, good hand chop. Definitely like what I saw from him. He's definitely going to be a potential. I mean, he could possibly fall in the later rounds of the draft, but I won't lie to you. I don't see him falling out of that first round with the ability that he has. Then you had offensive lineman who technically I think will end up being a guard in the NFL, Gray Zabel. I like this guy a lot. He was tough, physical, great footwork. Looks like an NFL guard. He just, you know, I had nothing bad to say about his game. He literally plays the part. We have defensive lineman here, Mike Green from Marshall. This guy has got Hassan Reddick vibes all over him. Quick, good twitch. Like how he has the bend on the ankle coming off the edge, kind of Dwight Freeney-ish. Like that a lot. One of my favorite tackles in this Senior Bowl, Jonah Monheim. Huge, physical, great footwork. He's not a guy you're just going to, I mean, maybe a Myles Garrett, maybe one of those guys could bowl him over, but you could tell you're not going to just bowl this guy over. You're going to have to really knock him down and put him on his ass. So, Monheim from USC, that, like I said, the tackle, I think he's definitely going to be somebody to keep of notice and watch. Josiah Stewart from Michigan. Fast, physical, and quick. I mean, I had nothing bad to say about this brother at the D-line position. Fast, physical, and quick. So, interested to see where he may end up. Definitely. Then you have tackle Anthony Belton from NC State. Good hands. He looks like an NFL tackle. He got worked a little bit with some of those edge rushers that can use their speed on the edge and kind of get twitchy on them. That's something he's definitely going to have to work on, but he definitely looks the part of an NFL tackle. Junior Tafuna. I mean, this man, needless I say, strong, quick, powerful. Watching him on some of them guard plays and some of them drills where he was just, and even in the game where he's just getting in between that A and B gap, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be definitely somebody they're going to have to keep an eye on, not to be fucked with or trifled. Defensive lineman also as well, Darius Alexander from Toledo. I definitely feel like he's going to, depending on what system he gets in, he could definitely cause some damage. Loved his size, loved his speed, loved the aggression that he played with. And rounding out that list as far as D linemen, Ty Robinson, and I mean this wholeheartedly, he didn't win every single matchup that he had going out there, but he was physical, he was aggressive, and he was doing everything that he needed to make sure that his guy was either on his back foot or out of position so he can get to the quarterback. Again, I liked a lot of what I saw from the offensive defensive line. As things go on after the Super Bowl, the combine comes up, there'll be more things to check on. Obviously, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on a lot of these guys, but most importantly, it was just impressive to see that. I'm excited about the talent that's coming into the NFL in this draft. The offensive, like I said, offensive line, defensive line was really what was astonishing. And not seeing that many skill position players outside of running back, really, really capture my attention. I mean, wide receiver, like I said, you had Jack Beck, but outside of Jack Beck and Gordon from, SMU, Dupree, the tight end from Alabama, really wasn't much. So definitely some more to watch and see going into the draft. Obviously, like I said, we got the combine coming up, so I'll definitely have some more episodes packed in there, wrapping up this end of college football combine pre-draft process, and then have more episodes of that leading into the draft. So as always, guys, I thank you as always for watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.